Welcome back. The big screen adaptation of the musical In the Heights is not getting high marks for diversity, and now one of the biggest names in Hollywood is saying he's sorry. In a statement posted on Twitter, Lin-Manuel Miranda says, quote, "In trying to paint a mosaic of this community, we fell short. I'm learning from the feedback. I thank you for raising it, and I'm listening." The movie, which is an adaptation of a Broadway musical, is a story about the Latino community in New York City's Washington Heights neighborhood. Critics say dark-skinned Afro-Latinos were featured as background dancers, but not enough in main roles. The movie opened last weekend with more than $11 million in box office sales, falling short of the $15 to $20 million that was expected. And with me now to discuss colorism in the Latino community is Amara La Negra. She's a singer and star of VH1's Love and Hip Hop Miami. Amara, welcome to BNC. It's good to have you with us tonight.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. And it's unfortunate that I'm on the show talking about this specifically, but it's all good. It's a learning and teaching experience.
Yeah, and let me ask you this. What did you think about his apology first?
I think that, I don't want to be judgmental. Anybody can make a mistake. But I do understand that in order to do a movie, it requires a whole team of people to come together to make it happen. And it's unfortunate that no one in his team, no one in the team overall came and, pointed out the fact that if you're talking about the Latino community, what about the Afro-Latino community, which we've been so vocal in the past 2 years or so. So, it was one more lost opportunity to truly show diversity in the Latino community.
Yeah, Namara, let's focus in on the musical a little bit. We know this musical has folks talking, which is obviously why you're here. The movie takes place in a New York City's Washington Heights neighborhood. Many scenes take place in a bodega, a hair salon, at the neighborhood pool. In real life, the people who live there are many different complexions. You're an Afro-Latino woman who is black and proud. I've seen you be very vocal about that. Why is it so important that they are represented on the big screen?
Well, because for the most part, when it comes to the Latino community per se, they never showcase us. Like we're like non-existent. When they talk about Latino, they have a prototype of what a Latino should look like, but they never talk about people like myself. And I always say, there isn't a Latin country that doesn't have black people. It's just that they don't give us the same opportunities. I would even say that the African American community has been more vocal and has more, they're in the front lines. They're more visible than we are. So when we have opportunities like this, where you're talking about diversity of a whole Latino community, especially when you're talking about, bodegas in New York, where there's a whole bunch of Dominicans, not to see people like myself, I think that, yes, they definitely missed the ball right here. And it meant so much to the Latino community to be able to finally have a film that's about us, for us, but it didn't truly include all of us.
And one of my friends, she even texted me while I was up here. She said when she watched the movie, it was a great movie, but at the same time, she just didn't see enough of us represented. So what do you think of the criticism of a lack of representation when it comes to dark-skinned Latinos in movies?
I think that directors, producers, executives, they've all heard it, over and over again. This is not like a new thing. We're not like a new race or a new culture that just came about. We've always been here. We're in your face all the time, every time. It's just that no matter how much we continue to talk about it, nothing changes, and they continue to look for the same prototype of what a Latino looks like. And that really, truly bothered me. Like, not just for the Afro-Latino community, of course, but even when you talk about Mexicans or when you talk about Hondureños, Guatemala, Chile, Ecuador, Cuba, Puerto Rico, I mean, the list goes on and on. There continues to be no diversity, but we continue to talk about the same thing over and over again. So I don't even know what is there to do besides them finally, doing something about it, because you already know what the problem is, so fix it.
Yeah, fix it. And with things like this, we know that this is at least bringing it even more to the forefront. So even your name, Amara La Negra, means love black women. Have you faced any issues with colorism yourself in your career?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I know that by now, a lot of people already know, my story and all the things that I've gone through. And of course, being born and raised in a Latino community where you're too black to be Latina, and then when you're too Latina to be black, is a very uncomfortable space where you don't know where you fit. And then you're born in the United States where somewhat they don't want both of those things. There's, issues with being black and then issues with being immigrant and being Latino. And then there's me. I'm both of them. So where do we fit in? So yeah, most definitely. I've gone through it. You're pretty for being black type of situation, or, we're looking for someone that looks more Latino. You don't really fit for what we're looking for. I've had it all. And then that's why I'm so vocal and I'm an activist for the Afro-Latino community, to bring awareness, to continue to break barriers and open doors for other people like myself.
Yeah, and you're a beautiful Latina woman at that. So,
Oh,
Latina and Black
thank
woman.
you.
Yes, ma'am. So,
Yes.
what would you like to see Hollywood do? What changes do they need to make? I know you said you guys are being vocal, but what else do they need to do?
Yes, most definitely. I would love to see more roles for Afro-Latino people. Like, you don't have to pretend to be, from another country, or pretend to change your accent. Be you. Be from wherever accent you naturally have. Let's talk about what Latinos look like. Let's give more opportunities to different actors that are Afro-Latinos, that may speak with a little Latino or accent. Let's give more opportunities and not have them being just in the background. Let's give them a positive role. They don't have to be, the drug addict or the prostitute or the gang member. Why not put them in a positive light? Let's just change the narrative of what the diversity of the Latino community includes and what it is.
Mm-hmm. What was your initial reaction when you first found out that people were concerned about this movie in particular?
I was like, one more movie. I mean, I guess it's sometimes people just have such high expectations of things that are going to happen. And when they don't happen, no matter how much we've spoken about it, and no matter how much we protest about it, and no matter how much we've posted on social media and interviews and this and that, then of course you feel disappointed. But I really wish that they can perhaps maybe come out with a part two. Or if somebody else, another director that has that power to change the narrative, to change, I would love for someone else to be like, you know what? I see what the issue is. I'm going to write a role for more Afro-Latinos. I would love to see that.
Yeah. And Amara, how do you change that, this disappointment into action?
Now, I'm not even going to sit here and lie to you and be like, oh, everything's going to change now because there was an apology, and because they're still, making money from our community. They're going to apologize like they've done 1,000 times, and then they're going to repeat the same thing as a copy paste situation. The only thing that to me will make me feel any better is if they decide to truly make a difference by giving more roles, more opportunities, and not having to hide behind characters to be who you are. I would love to be able to see that. Like I said, only those in power can truly make a difference, no matter how much we as talent, actors, whatever the case may be, influencers, activists, as much as we want to, they're the ones in power. So only they can truly make the difference.
Is there a role you would be interested in?
Well, now that you're talking about it. Actually, you know what? I'm very open-minded. No matter what role it is that I may play, just to let little Afro-Latina girls see that, there is an opportunity. You can do it. There are other girls that look like us. And we do speak español normal. Nosotros hablamos español y somos latina. And it's okay. And you could do it too. I want to be that inspiration like Celia Cruz was for me, for the upcoming generation. So any role that I can do it properly, and stand up and represent my community, I would love that.
Well, I love it, and I'm sending you a big gracias since we are speaking Spanish tonight.
I love it.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us, Amara, and weighing in on this tonight. We appreciate your time.
Of course, likewise.